Hello, welcome to week 5. As requested, I will be doing videos for the weekly discussions and my thoughts on those discussions. And so I hope that this finds all of you well and healthy. And congratulations on almost making it to the end of class. We have a discussion this week, a discussion next week, and then 2 assignments due. There's a reflection paper that's due next week and a subculture report that's also due. And I'm here to answer any questions about those. I know that for most of you, these are my class, and then the other class you're taking are your last classes of your degree. And so let me know how I can help you finish out successfully. This week's topic is on empathy. Empathy is something that I'm actually hearing more and more about in leadership books, and I'm especially hearing a lot about it when it comes to diversity and inclusion. And I'll say that with a topic like diversity and inclusion, I think that when most of us enter these conversations, we have this really high guard up. And a lot of it is for really what we think are really good reasons, right? Like, we don't want to say the wrong thing. We don't want to upset another person. We don't want people to think that we're racist or sexist or homophobic. And when we have that guard up, sometimes our emotions are also blocked from being a part of that human connection. And so it takes honestly, it's something that I continue to work at is, how do I keep my heart open and vulnerable in these conversations? Especially because I care so much, right? Because I care how my friends are treated. I care how my family members are treated. I care about the employees that I work with. And so I'll just share, like, I'm going through a situation right now, and one conversation that we're having amongst the colleagues at Metro State is, what is the right venue, the right forum, the right method for us to collectively be educated on race. And so, as you know, as you see in the news, as we've talked about in class, there's been a lot of conversations on how to do this. And so one suggestion that came out of a bunch of suggestions was to have a group where those who identify as white or those with white skin can come together to talk and learn about race and do our own work. I'll say our own work. I identify as white. And I think that it opened the door to some really hard conversations. For example, I had to really think through, what do I think about that? Do I think that we should break into groups based on affinity? Would that actually create a better, because we're trying to understand, like, who should be doing the educating, who should be doing the learning, who has to learn, who has to unlearn. And I think that fundamentally, I really agree with the idea that those who identify as white need to do their own work and shouldn't be relying on people of color to educate us. And then on the other side, I feel really uncomfortable with the idea of a whites only group, right? And I think that it was initially easy for me to dig my heels in and really just stick to my point of view and stick to, I just want everybody to see my point of view. And it was tough. I had to think through, like, I'm sending a message to about 800 people. I'm sending a message to people who have feelings on lots of different things. I also acknowledge that I could be wrong. I could be missing something. there could be a blind spot that I have. And so as I engaged in that conversation and I had a few people challenge my point of view or challenge my methods, it takes a lot of work to sit in that discomfort, to sit in a space where I am really uncomfortable and I am very vulnerable, and not have this defense get up. And I challenge all of us to think through, and I'm happy to talk more about that. I think this is something that a lot of companies are going to be discussing and grappling with, is what is the role of white people in anti-racism work. I think this is a conversation that there's a lot of feelings, a lot of different ways to move forward, and it's going to require a lot of empathy and a lot of vulnerability and a lot of making mistakes. And so I encourage you to think through, when you're uncomfortable, when something feels off, when somebody challenges you on a topic, just check in with yourself. How are you responding? Are you feeling shame? Are you feeling vulnerable? Do you feel defensive? And just what are your coping skills with that? I think that self-awareness is the first step in understanding, how do we do this work? And so I'm really looking forward to you, to hearing your thoughts on empathy, to hearing your thoughts on how empathy comes to life for you and our human interactions. And yeah, I think it's interesting. I think this work is fun, and I think this work is really hard. And so I look forward to hearing from you and learning from you. And as we're getting ready and we're rounding out the semester, don't hesitate to connect with me. I'm here, I'm available, and I'll make myself available to you in whatever way I can, so you can finish class successfully. Okay, everybody, take care. Have a great week. Talk to you later. Bye.